Child, Dr. Alan Bhargavi, the director of the Center of the Yoga Therapy and Education and Research, has graced the conference with his graceful presence. Respected Dr. Anand Bhargavi is internationally known for yoga and his research work, enlightened by Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Geetanand Giri Guruji Maharaj and Yogacharani Ammaji. Dr. Bhavnani is any more time now, I would request the audience to upload and welcome him again. Over to you, sir.
Namaste, Swagatam, Namaskaram. I hope you can all hear me and see me, because with the internet, we are always dealing with the internet gods, and all the internet devatas have to bless us with the continued internet connection. So before starting, I wish to invoke the Guru Parampara, that is blessing my life with yoga and blessing so many. So I start with a Guru Parampara Gayatri. Om Tad Paramparaya Vidmahe Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guru Prachodayate. Om Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Geetanand Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. I take this opportunity to express my gratitude to my dear Yoga Bhaiya, my Bada Bhaiya, Dr. Jaideep Ji, and all the members of the Haryana Yoga Council for organizing this wonderful conference on mental health through meditation and spirituality. Aajkal to we have forgotten our Bharatiya sanskar, we have forgotten our culture, and it is so important that India, Bharat, be a Vishwa Guru, as per the beautiful statement of our Pradhan Mantri Ji, Narendra Modi Ji. When we think about mental health, we are always wondering, what is this mental health? Mental health ka matlab kya hai? See, when we talk about health, the modern definition of health by the World Health Organization is telling us that health is a state of being where there's physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being. So there should be physical well-being, mental well-being, social well-being, and spiritual well-being. But long, long ago, thousands of years ago, Acharya Shushruta has given the definition of health and wellness as swastha. The swastha, which is most important, that swasth, where we are established in our own nature, that swa, as Maharishi Patanjali tells us, Swarupe avasthanam, when the chitta vritti nirodha has occurred, we will be in a Swarupeva avasthanam. Otherwise, we will take on the Swarupa of the vritti. And that is why it is so important to go back to Acharya Shushruth's definition of swasth, where he includes prasanna atma indriya mana, not just physical. See, all the other samadosha, sama agnischa, samadhatu, malakriya is okay. But then what is the most important part? Prasanna atma indriya mana. And that is what mental health is all about today. We have physically fit bodies, 6-pack, 7-pack, 8-pack. Hamara hero log to Bollywood mein, they show all this so many pack. Lekin mentally to unfit ho jate. They don't know when, what should be hunted, what should be driven. Nobody knows aajkal. Kyunki mentally unsound ho gaya aajkal hum log. physically fit hai, mentally, emotionally unfit hai. This is why when we want fitness at the mind level. And Maharishi Patanjali has given us the Yoga Darshana for that purpose. Yogena chittasya padena vacham. For the chitta, we have the yoga. For the vacha, we have the padena vacham. And for the malam sharirasya, we have the vaidya. That is why Maharishi Patanjali is a 3-in-1 personality, giving us yoga for the mind, giving us grammar for the speech, and giving us medicine for the body. आजकल तो सब specialist हो गया, super duper specialist हो गया. But Maharishi Patanjali is a 3-in-1. He brings all together. And that is the integrated personality, Purna Purusha, that our Bharatiya Sanskar is bringing out to us. Today my topic has been given very beautiful topic by my dear Jaideep Bhaiya. He has given a beautiful topic, Bhakti Yoga and emotional culturing, emotional intelligence. We all know what is intelligence quotient, IQ. सब लोग सोचते हैं हमारा IQ अच्छा होना चाहिए, पढ़ा लिखा के लिए IQ अच्छा होना चाहिए. But what has become? We have पढ़ा लिखा, but we have become unpad. We have become पढ़ा लिखा unpad because we are lacking the emotional intelligence. We are lacking spiritual intelligence. We have intelligent quotient, but emotional quotient to zero हो गया, spiritual quotient to zero हो गया. इसलिए it is so important that we remember that emotional intelligence, culturing the emotions is so important. I'll give you a simple example. क्या होता है आजकल? Because of Corona, on all sides we are having stress. On all sides there are tensions. Stress is coming from work, stress is coming from home, stress is coming from the external environment, stress is coming from internal environment. And we have all become overstressed. And what has happened? Emotions, volatility has increased. Everybody is getting depressed. Everybody is getting angry. Everybody is losing the temper, losing the cool. And we have become emotionally volatile. Anytime the bomb can go off, the emotional bomb can go off. That is how most people are living today. Because what is happening? We are always thinking, me. For me, what is happening? My life, my wife, my house, my job. We are so locked in my, that my is Maya. My is Maya. Lekin we have got attached to that my. And we are afraid of losing it. I'm afraid of losing my life. I'm afraid of losing my family's wellness. I'm afraid of losing my job. I'm afraid of blah, 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 blah. We are afraid of so many things. And from that bhaya is very, very deep. That bhaya, krodha. And that is why we need to understand that we have to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is very, very important. How do you look at the bigger picture? Well, that is where Bhakti Yoga comes in. Because in Bhakti Yoga, we are not looking at our perspective. We are trying to understand the bigger perspective of the universe itself. What is the universe? What is the divine? And that is where the concept, a beautiful concept, Maharishi Patanjali has given us of Ishvara Pranidhana. My father, Swami Geetananda Giri, he used to say it's Atman Prasadanam. You are offering yourself to the highest divinity, to that universality. And that concept of surrendering the individuality for the sake of universality. You are moving from what will happen to me, what will happen to me, to an understanding the divine can take care of me, the universe can take care of me. And that is a very, very important component of the Yoga Marga. And that Yoga Marga is the Bhakti Yoga Marga. The Bhakti is a very beautiful aspect of Indian culture. And we are not afraid of God. If you look at the modern religions that came after Sanatana Dharma, They are having a version of God who is very, very scary. God will punish you. God will get angry with you. God will kick you to hell. God will do this. God will do that. They are scaring always. But Sanatana Dharma is telling us God is not to be feared. God is to be loved. And the great Tirumular, our Tamil Siddha, who gives us the Attanga Yoga equivalent to Ashtanga Yoga of Maharishi Patanjali, he tells us, Anbe Shivam. Shiva is love. For him, God was personified as Lord Shiva because of the Saiva Siddhanta yoga tradition of South India. Anbe Shivam, he says. And that is the understanding that the divine is love. Through that flame for Bhagavan, for that flame for the divine, that we are expanding our consciousness and we are no longer scared. That fear has been brought under control. I wanted to share a few concepts today. And one of the concepts is this: what is this emotional intelligence we are talking about? When we talk about emotional intelligence, we are talking about a capacity for empathy. Can you feel for the other person? Now see, as long as you are caught in me, you will not be able to think of the other person. That is why it is so important to be able to let go of me and move from me to we. M, E, you turn it upside down. The M becomes W. E remains the same. Me becomes we. And suddenly, all the stress goes away. And you realize we are all one. We are not different. We are all one. That oneness is where the sense of Shantam comes. That is the place where Sukham comes. Sukham, Shantam, Swastya. All of that comes from a sense of oneness, that we come together. But the IQ is constantly saying, what will happen? What happened yesterday? What will happen tomorrow? The EQ, emotional quotient, is saying, be in the now. Enjoy the present moment. Maharishi Patanjali uses a term, kshana. Be in that moment which is that kshanam. And in that, you have a sense of ease. No past, no future. When you think about the past, you will get depressed. When you think about the future, you will become anxious. When you are in the now, you are at peace with yourself. And when we talk about emotional quotient, one component is self-awareness. And that is the component of Swadhyaya, self-awareness. The second is self-regulation, which is the concept of Atma Vichara. Can we regulate ourselves? Can we be our own master, Swaswami, as Maharishi tells us? Not Swami in renunciation, but you are the master of yourself. This develops the social skills because you start to be aware of yourself, you regulate yourself, you can interact with others with love, with compassion, with friendship. And this creates that empathy, that beautiful sense of karuna. Those who are suffering, so many people are suffering in the world today. Can you have a sense of karuna, compassion for them, and gives you that power of motivation? That power of motivation, that is the purushartha, the capacity that I can, I will, I am able. Ammaji, my mother and Guru, she used to always say, the human being should say, I can, I will, I am able. The subhuman, the animal says, I can't, I won't, I'm not able. This jump is very important because as long as you are caught in survival instinct in yoga is called Abhinivesha Klesha. Abhinivesha Klesha is always limiting us. Will I survive? Will my family survive? Will my job survive? Will my state survive? Will my organization survive? This is all Abhinivesha Klesha. But when you start to expand, it is no longer mera, but it becomes hamara. From mera to hamara, that is the transformation from I to we and from me to we. And suddenly they say, when you move from I to we, illness becomes wellness. That is the transformation. And what happens? is with emotional intelligence, we are developing self-awareness, self-management. We can manage ourselves better, and self-performance. See, whenever we want to try something, before exam, what do? Hey Bhagavan, let my exam be easy, let the paper be easy. Exam के बाद क्या करते हैं? We say, hey Bhagavan, let the examiner correct my paper nicely, let him be in a good mood. We are always calling upon Bhagavan. When I was doing my MBBS in Varda, Nagpur, I remember before every exam, we would go to the Hanumanji Mandir because a lot of Hanumanji Mandir are there in that region and Ganeshji Mandir. And everybody will pray. Before you start, you always invoke the divine. Why? Because when you invoke the divine, you have the confidence. The divine is on my side. You become like Arjuna. When you have Krishna with you, why you should be afraid of the whole Mahabharata? We are all Arjun. Arjuna is not just the character of Mahabharata. We are all Arjuna. And the Krishna within us, the divinity within us. Through Bhakti Yoga, we are connecting with the divine in us. And how are we connecting with the divine? We are understanding the divine can be our mother. The divine can be our father. The divine can be our friend. The divine can be our relative. A beautiful chant in our culture. Tvameva mata chapita tvameva tvameva bandhuscha sakam tvameva tvameva vedya dravino tvameva tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. That relationship we have with God, the relationship with the divine. And this gives you that self-confidence. I can. The moment you have the divine on your side, even if the whole world is against you. The Pandavas were only 5 people, right? Pandavas were only 5 people. But on the other side, what you had? The 100 people, the Kauravas. Yet, the Pandavas knew God is on our side. Bhagavan, Krishna, Yogeshwar, Krishna is on our side. And when God is on your side, you know Dharma is on your side. And wherever Dharma is, it will succeed. That is the firm conviction we have. And our culture tells us that in Bhakti Yoga is having the capacity. It is not that you say, I don't have human emotion. You understand the human emotion and you use it to relate to the divinity. This is called sublimation of emotion. You are not suppressing emotion. You are not repressing emotion, but you are utilizing emotion in a positive way. And we have beautiful Shat Bhava, the 6 attitudes that are there. One is the Shanta Bhava of Bhakti Yoga. Shanta Bhava is where you have a very platonic relationship. I like to say Maharishi Patanjali's relationship with the divine is like a Shanta Bhava relationship. He has a beautiful Shanta Bhava relationship. He is at ease with the divinity, with Ishwar, who is Kalena Navachedat. That beautiful Ishwar, who is beyond time and is the Purveshamapi Guru, and the greatest teacher, timeless teacher. That is what Ishvara is. And Maharishi Patanjali is at ease with Ishvara. He is at peace. Shanta Bhava. The second is Dasya Bhava. Dasya Bhava, where you feel that you are the servant of the divinity. And who is a better example than the great Mahayogi, Hanumanji? Hanumanji is a master yogi. He is a Siranjeevi. He is having the Ashta, Siddhi, Anima, Lagima, Mahima, Prapti. All those Siddhis are manifesting through Lord Hanuman, who is the manifestation, the epitome of Bhakti Yoga. Such an amazing personality in our culture in the Ramayana. Someone who has so much of Siddhi. He can become huge. He can become small. He can become heavy. He can become light. And yet, his devotion to Lord Rama, the divine in human form, gives him that beautiful epitome of Bhakti Yoga as Dasya Bhava. And he understands through service, through seva to the divine, you can attain the highest. That highest can be attained through serving the divine. It is said that our action, our karma is very, very limiting when it is my karma. When we think, I am doing, it will always be a problem. When you can let go of the doing, that is why Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. That is why Lord Krishna, as Yogeshwar in the Bhagavad Gita, advises us, not just Arjuna, he advises us, let go of your attachment to the karma, but don't go into akarmani. Don't stop the action. Keep the action going, but do not be attached to it. That nishkama karma is coming when you have dasya bhava. And our culture tells us every action you should do with a bhava. What type of bhava? The bhava should be Narayana bhava. As if you are doing it. The divine is doing, not you. Narayana bhava. Not me, not Ananda, not anybody else. The divine is doing Narayana bhava. The second, you are doing, but as an offering to the divine. Narayana arpana bhava. You make it an arpanam, a samarpanam to the divine. What a beautiful way to understand the bigger picture. And then the third, nimitta bhava. You are just a tool of the divine. You are the divine. Ayam me hasto Bhagavan, ayam me pado Bhagavan. The Purusha Suktam tells us, Sahasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. What a beautiful understanding that the divinity is perceiving through us, is feeling through us, is emoting through us, is acting through us. And suddenly, you are not alone anymore. And that is why the great Mahavakyam, Aham Brahmasmi, we realize that. These type of attitudes, the Bhakti Bhava, the Shat Bhava, Shanta Bhava, Dasya Bhava, Apatya Bhava, where you think of the divine as your father. Tvameva Mata cha Pita Tvameva, your father, the heavenly father. It is found in other culture also. Jesus Christ, who came to India, he was in Kashmir, he became a great yogi. He says, my father in heaven, his relationship with God was son and father. Can we relate that way? That we feel safe. My father is there to protect me. Bhagavan is there to protect me. God is there to protect me. Ishwar is there to protect me. That type of beautiful concept is brought into our culture. Sakya Bhava. And I think Sakya Bhava for me is one of the best ones because you have Kuchela, Sudama. Kuchela, Sudama and Krishna. What a beautiful relation. You can relate to the divine as a friend. Sakha Tvameva, you are my friend. You are my companion. Not that you are God, I have to be scared of you. This is the type of attitude where you have a friendship with the divine and immediately there is no fear. No fear, no insecurity. Abhinivesha Klesha is Tanukarana. It goes down. And automatically you can be in your best, emotionally balanced. Samatvam Yoga Uchate, it manifests. Samatvam Samabhava, and you become a Sthita Prajna. Because emotional volatility has all come down. God is your friend. If God is your friend, why are you worried? Sudama didn't have to ask Krishna for anything. Krishna himself gave everything. When God is your friend, you don't have to ask God. You have that relationship. Vatsalya Bhava, another very beautiful one in our culture. Vatsalya Bhava, where we realize that we can be the mother of God. What a beautiful experience Yashoda, Ma Yashoda has with Krishna, where she becomes the mother of God. Such a relationship. So you are relating with God not out of fear. Fear is the trigger of the whole stress response. Fear triggers the whole stress response. Actually, it should be called a stress reaction because there is no response involved. It is all a reactionary stuff happening from your Abhinivesha Klesha. Fear, Bhaya. Why is fear there? Because you are feeling somebody is a stranger and they are a threat to you. The moment you feel a threat, Dvaitam leads to Bhayam. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad tells us, from Dvaitam comes Bhaya. From Bhaya comes the stress reaction. When you are the mother of God, why should you be afraid? When you are the son of God, why should you be afraid? When you are the friend of God, why should you be afraid? When you are the servant of God, why should you be afraid? What a beautiful way this is brought in our culture. And a beautiful song comes. It asks Yashoda, Yennatavam Sedharni Yashoda. What great tapas you have done to have the divine as your son. What a beautiful concept is there. And then, of course, the most enjoyable one, Madhura Bhava. What beautiful stories we have of Meera. What Meera Devi and her Madhura Bhava for Lord Krishna. What a beautiful feeling that God is your beloved. And even whenever we talk of Lord Krishna, what are we saying? Radhe Shyam. That beautiful relationship between Radha and Krishna. When we talk about Ramji, it's always Sita Ram, Siya Ram. Why? Because that beautiful relationship, Madhura Bhava, Madhura, what a beautiful relationship is there. All of these are the aspects of Bhakti. Shanta Bhava, all of them are Bhavana. And what is Bhava? It is an attitude. Where does the attitude come? From the emotion. So you are culturing an emotional attitude towards the divinity, towards the universality. And you are starting to have harmony with the universe. You are not alone anymore. See, when you feel you are alone, you will get lonely. When you feel alone, you will get lonely. But through Bhakti Yoga, you are connecting to the divine in so many different ways, so many relationships with the divine. And you now are no longer lonely. You are no longer alone. You have become all one. Alone has become all one. And you have connected to the whole universe. This is why Bhakti Yoga is one of the most amazing yoga margas. And my own mother, Ammaji Meenakshi Devi Bhavanani, who now has spent more than 52 years in India after coming from the US of A, she often used to tell, she said that, initially I thought Hatha Yoga was important, I thought Raj Yoga was important, and now as I have become older, I realize Bhakti Yoga is one of the most important ways to connect to the universe. What a beautiful connection. That connection that can convert the poison into nectar. I always like to tell people, see, poison. Poison is medicine in concentration. And what is medicine? It is dilute poison. So, poison in dilution becomes medicine. Medicine in concentration becomes poison. And what you are doing in Bhakti Yoga? In Bhakti Yoga, you are diluting the poison. You are diluting the poison. What is the poison? The negative emotions. The negativity in us is the poison that is killing us. We are poisoning ourselves with negativities. And when through Bhakti Yoga you connect to the bigger universe and you feel one with the universe, at that point you have diluted the poison, and dilute poison becomes medicine. And that medicine becomes the medicine for the soul, where you have that oneness. And it is such a beautiful concept, because as long as you are focused on me, you are afraid. Why are you afraid? Because of attachment. What is attachment doing? It is leading to Bhaya. You are afraid of losing something. And the only thing that doesn't have Bhaya is Vairagya. What a beautiful concept. In the Vairagya Shatakam, it is so important. Vairagya Shatakam tells us, the Bharatri Hari, he tells us so clearly that the only thing that has no fear is Vairagya. Vairagya meva abhayam. Everything else, You are beautiful, you are afraid of losing beauty. You are powerful, you are afraid of losing power. You have riches, you are afraid of losing the riches. You have knowledge, you are afraid of losing to somebody in a debate. But in Vairagya, there's no fear. When does Vairagya come? When there's no attachment. When can you be non-attached? When you are one with the divine. Because as long as duality is there, as long as you feel I am separate, you're holding on. And that is the attachment of Abhinivesha. This is why the letting go component of Vairagya is empowered by Bhakti Yoga. Abhyasa is empowered by Hatha Yoga, Raja Yoga, and Jnana Yoga. But letting go is empowered by Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga empowers the Vairagya component. Abhyasa Vairagya Abhyam Tan Nirodha, says Maharishi Patanjali. How? Abhyasa is the doing part, but you have to let go. Abhyasa is the accelerator. Vairagya is the brake. And you have to have a balance. In modern yoga, we have forgotten the importance of Bhakti Yoga. We think yoga is only asana. We have become so limited. We need to understand yoga is about the relationship we have with ourselves, with others, and with the divine. Intrapersonal relationship, interpersonal relationships, and transpersonal relationships. And the more we start to have the concept of bhakti pervading our whole thought process, the bhavana, we start to have what is called a bhavana shuddhi. And our attitudes, the emotional attitudes, start to get clarified. They start to become clear. And when your emotions are clear, your prefrontal cortex, where the power of choice, I have always been saying recently, the superpower of being human is the power of choice. The superpower of being human is the power of choice. But the power of choice will not work when you are emotionally volatile. When your emotions are out of control, power of choice has gone out. And we go into Vinasha Kale Viparita Buddhi. Because what has happened, Vinasha Kale, your emotional volatility has led to Viparita Buddhi. There's a beautiful shloka in the Bhagavad Gita. It says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate. From thinking of the sensory objects, you have Sangha, you get attached to them. Sangat Samjayate Kamat. You start to have attachment to them and it leads to a desire to hold on to them. Kamat Krodo Abhijayate. But you know you are going to lose them, so anger comes in. Krodat Bhavati Sammoha. From anger, delusion, you lose all capacity of knowing what is happening. Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama. You lose the memory, the hippocampal memory and all the working memory, the old, the new, the recent, all the memory is lost. Smriti Vibhrama, Buddhi Nasho, and from Buddhi, when the Buddhi is lost, Pranashchati, we go into the loss of our very being. It all starts with Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pajayate Sangat Samjayate Kamat Kamat Krodo Abhijayate Krodat Bhavati Sammoha Sammohat Smriti Vibhrama Smriti Vibhamshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashchati. And what does Bhagavan Yogeshwar Sri Krishna tell us? Raga Dvesha Viyuktaistu. Go beyond the likes and the dislikes. Raga Dvesha. And they are pulling you apart. Raga Dvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayan Indrayascharan. Atma Vashye Vidayatma. When you can be self-content, self-satisfied. At that point, what happens is you attain the highest state. And this is why it is so important for us. These are not messages for philosophy. These are not messages for psychology. These are messages for life. And through Bhakti Yoga, we can start to retrain our emotions. We start to bring beautiful concepts. And our culture has so many people. Kabir Das, Tulasi Das, Mirabai, Andal in South India, Tyagaraja Swamigal, the great composer, all these beautiful examples, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all of them who have shown us the path. Through Bhakti Yoga, one can attain the highest state. And I like to tell people, normally we think samadhi is the eighth. Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. I say then Maharishi Patanjali gives a shortcut. He says, tapas swadhyaya ishvara pranidhana. Through Kriya Yoga also you can get to samadhi. But then he has given the shortest of the shortcut. Ishvara pranidhana. Samadhi siddhihi ishvara pranidhana. Through Ishvara pranidhana, you can directly go into samadhi. So you say, yes, one step to samadhi. Ishvara pranidhana to samadhi. What is Ishvara pranidhana? Bhakti Yoga. And that is why the concept of being able to let go. And how does this come in? How we can bring it into our sadhana? There are the Nava Angas, the 9 ways. And how you can bring it? By Shravanam, listening to the tales of the great divinity. Kirtanam, singing the hymns in praise. Smaranam, contemplating the remembrance of the divine. Pada Sevanam, service to the world as the feet of the divine. Archanam, doing the archana. Vandanam, singing the praises. Dasyam, service. Sakyam, intimacy. And Atma Nivedanam, self-surrender. This Atma Nivedanam is what my father used to say. Ishvara Pranidhana is Atman Prasadanam. Because after doing Nevedya, you offer to the divine, you get the prasad. If you don't offer to the divine, there is no prasadam. That is why every thought, every word, every action, everything we should do should be in the spirit of Brahmarpanam, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahudam, Brahmaivadena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhinam. That is the attitude with which you're doing everything. And that is where Bhakti Yoga comes alive in your day. Everything you do is Krishna Alpanamastu, not my Alpanamastu. Everybody is doing as if I am Alpanam to myself. No. It should be Krishna Alpanam, Shiva Alpanam, Brahma Alpanam. It should be offered to the divinity. And who is the divine? The divine is us. Because the divine is manifesting through us. The divine is seeing through us. The divine is communicating through us. The divine is acting through us. The divine is moving through us. And the moment we realize we are a vehicle for the divine, it becomes our duty to make sure this vehicle is as pure as possible. We go through Mala Shuddhi, we go through Bhavana Shuddhi, we go through Chetana Shuddhi, we finally go through Atma Shuddhi, along the way the practice of Nadi Shuddhi also. All the Shuddhi in order to purify ourselves so that we can be the purest vehicle for the divine to work through us. That is the peak of Bhakti Yoga. And when we have this attitude, it is an attitude also of Pratipaksha Bhavana. Because as long as you're saying me, I am doing, you are caught in the action-reaction, karma cycle. It is only when you can come out of it and say, I am not the doer. I am not the doer. And it is that beautiful moment where then suddenly you are not doing anymore. You are being. As a human being, we should be human being. We have become human doing. Always do. You meet somebody, how do you do? What do you do? Why do you do? When do you do? No. We should become a being. How to be. The great Ramana Maharishi, he has given us such a beautiful teaching. He says, Summa iru, be still. In that stillness, what is stillness? Asana. In that stillness, you will have sthirata and sukhata. That stillness will only come when you have got out of that emotional whirlpools. Emotional whirlpools are the agitations that are going on again and and creating a mess. We become a mess through emotional whirlpools of emotional volatility. And what is the best way out of it? Om Japa. And a beautiful study at Nimhans some years ago by Dr. Kalyani, Gangadhar Sir's daughter and their team, they showed doing the Om Japa. Om, 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 Om. It attenuates on the functional MRI. They showed that the limbic area was attenuated. Even the anatomical structure, even the anatomical structure of the limbic system and the physiological functioning of the limbic system was attenuated by Om Japa. Imagine what is happening to the emotional volatility. Whenever we are very volatile and tense, that is why our culture has taught us, do the japa. Ram, 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 Ram. Or Om Namah Shivaya, 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 Shivaya Namaha, Namah Shivaya. Shivaya Namaha, Namah Shivaya, He Jagabandhan Devaki Nandan, Alak Niranjan, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, He Jagabandhan Devaki Nandan, Alak Niranjan, Hare Hare. And immediately what happens when you are singing like this, when you are doing the bhajans, when you are doing the japa, automatically the emotions come down. Klesha Tanukaranatascha, Maharishi Patanjali tells us that the kleshas which include avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. I told you abhinivesha is triggered. Survival instinct is triggered by fear. Why you are afraid? Because of avidya. Because of avidya, you don't know you are the divine and the divine is you. So what has happened? You have created asmita. Now asmita is afraid of losing itself. So abhinivesha and all the raga dvesha. And what does Maharishi Patanjali say? If you want to bring down the klesha tanukaranatascha, he says Om Japa. When you do the Om Japa, because what is the Om? The Pranava is Tasya Vachakaha Pranava. And when we chant Om, 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 immediately a sense of Shantam comes. This is so important. We are often thinking yoga is on the mat, doing the asana, doing the pranayama. That is also important sadhana. But yoga is 24 hours sadhana. Every moment, yoga should be alive in us. If yoga is to be alive every moment, we need to start to bring bhakti yoga into our life. My wish on this wonderful conference, Mental Health Through Meditation and Spirituality, is that we all take this message. Let yoga come into our life 24/7. Every moment is yoga. And at that point, suddenly our life is transformed and we become true adhikarins. And as again Yogeshwar Krishna tells Arjuna, tapasvibhyo adhiko yogi jnanibhyo abhimadodikaha karmabhyaschatiko yogi tasmad yogi bhava Arjunaha. We are all Arjuna. Let us all become those yogis that Lord Yogeshwar Krishna has asked us to be. I thank you all for this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts with you. I thank the Haryana Yoga Council, especially my dear Jaideep Bhaiya, for this opportunity. I thank each and every one of you for giving me your time, your precious time, and being one with me, enabling me to manifest the yoga in my heart. I love yoga. Yoga is my life, and to share it with you is the greatest blessing. Dhanyavadaha. Namaste.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Dr. Anand Bal Yogi. आपके वक्तव्य को सुनकर तो आनंद ही हो जाता है और आज हमारा सौभाग्य ये है कि आपके इस वक्तव्य को हमारे असेंबली के माननीय स्पीकर श्री ज्ञानचंद गुप्ता जी ने भी श्रवण किया है। आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन।
Thank you so much जी। नमस्कार।
आपका बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन, स्वागत। और आपके वक्तव्य ने जो एक जीवन के अंदर नई संचार जो किया है, एक नई जो किरणें आपने नए जीवन के अंदर दी हैं, मैं समझता हूं कि इस प्रकार के आयोजन और आपके द्वारा दिया गया आशीर्वाद हम सबके लिए बहुत ही सदुपयोगी होगा। और जो आज आपने आशीर्वाद दिया, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Dr. Anand Balyogi, we are very much thankful to you, and your process, I can say it is a journey from I to we and illness to wellness. We are very much thankful to you for your very kind deliberation, with knowledgeable deliberation. We are very really thankful to you. And I was just remembering a shloka from Bhakti Yoga lesson 6th of Bhagavad Gita. Tam vidyat dukh sanyogam yogam viyogam yoga sangitam sanishchena yoktavya yogo anirvanam chetasa. So yet the word you have said, yoga is a journey from attachment to detachment. This is the real yoga. And so beautifully you have explained. I'm really grateful to you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your deliberation. And it is our fortune, and we are very much fortunate that we have our speaker sir with us. Now I request him to just enlighten us with this lamp of knowledge, lamp of yoga in Haryana, under the leadership of our Sir Shri Manohar Lal Khattar ji, our Health Minister Shri Anil Vitt ji.
शुभं करोति कल्याणं आरोग्यं धनसम्पदा शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योति नमोस्तुते दिव्यादिव्यारे दीपत्कार काले कुण्डलमोतिहार